Welcome back to The Watch and Oz. Legacy media is dying.
Good. Burn.
Yes.
Die.
Yes. Like looking at this graph here, unique views or visitors to legacy media from January 2020 to January 2024, all on a very steep decline. Fox News, negative 24%. CNN, negative 20%. Well, that's not nearly enough. That should be like negative 100%. CNN is so... New York Times, negative 22%. Washington Post, negative 45%. And many other outlets sharing similar types of things. Now, I see this, of course, absolutely good, but not a sign that things will get better necessarily. There is just as much disinformation on YouTube, Twitter, and people love their confirmation bias and their bubbles that they want to stay in.
I actually know how this happened.
How did this happen?
The price of bot networks increased 20%.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, we have a video on Night's Watch showing the evolution of some of these bot farms. Go check it out, right? It's shocking how full on they're getting. And we're seeing more and more signs of botting happening. Like, I went to there was a comment under one of my videos and I had a tick. And usually that means they're verified and they might have a high audience. So I decided sometimes I check out if these are creators that are watching my content. So I go over there, no videos, or maybe one or two with barely any views, over 100,000 subscribers. And that's how I've noticed that a number of times recently.
On YouTube these days, are we allowed to like think? We allowed to?
We don't know us.
I'll stop then.
So bots are getting out of hand, and there's been a lot of bot comments, people being calling out. We've had a video showing some bot comments trying to defend Star Wars Outlaws, I think it was. All these same comments coming up again and again and again and again, just repeat comments.
It's like the bloody prequels. We need a clone army.
My gosh, so...
Droids.
Yeah, bots are a massive issue, and it seems to be just getting worse and worse. A lot of these companies do use bots to prop up, like Disney. The fact that we've seen all these tweets supporting, a Star Wars, Disney legitimately pays for this, right? And so, guaranteed, if they've been caught out once, they've done it multiple times, and all these positive comments on YouTube, and if there are enough bots to get 100,000 people sign up on an account, like 100,000 comments on a video is insane. You like,
especially for a one-off innocuous.
Just having several thousand comments will flood a comment section and make the sentiment in the replies seem overwhelmingly to one side or another. Okay, and the fact that people can get hundreds of thousands of bot accounts to subscribe to things, right? And if there are companies willing to pay for bots, Disney has been caught out doing that. Yep. Guaranteed they get bot comments and everything like that to get likes, to get, push sentiment. This should be fundamentally illegal because they use the supposed positive reaction to things to affect stock prices, shareholder confidence and stuff, right? This is legitimate fraud. They need to be caught out and taken to the cleaners about all this. I would not put it past many of these news organizations doing the same thing, using bot likes on Twitter and everything to prop up stuff. Not ultimately helping, though, okay? In this sphere, at least. And that's gratifying to see people saying, look, I'm not going to pay for your dog crap stuff. Because they can get it for free, and oftentimes they can get the type of news that they want to hear for free elsewhere. Elon retweets. It says, legacy media simply can't compete with hundreds of millions of humans providing real-time, AI-assisted, interactive information.
A bit sus on the AI-assisted part because it's
What does it mean by AI-assisted?
Well, I use ChatGPT to help me figure out how to do stuff with programming and stuff like that. I told a mate to do it just yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, AI tools can be phenomenal in assisting things. The concern about AI is in regards to
killing people.
Well, news, using it for disinformation and things, and with Google's Gemini, holy crap! And I half wonder, I have noticed, as well as many other people, there's been a distinct change in the way both Google and YouTube has been handling search and discoverability. Okay, Shadiversary. I've made a video on Shadiversary views that due to this change, Shadiversary, like views to new subscribers specifically, has cratered massively. And it's so funny hearing people, well, not so many people, thousands, literally thousands of people saying, yeah, this Shad, I've not been here seeing any recommendations. I thought you stopped uploading. Literally thousands of comments and people confirming it, as well as many other creators. But the critics that just want to take, any opportunity to validate their hate and dislike and everything like that, they try and gaslight saying, it's because of, what I do here at Night's Watch, even though Night's Watch is growing, right? Completely ignoring the fact things were fine before January. It happened, right at January. That doesn't coincide with any big controversy. In fact, a few days before anything that you might want to try and identify as me getting into a tiff with another creator, which actually gave me more subscribers. That boosted, right? It didn't reduce views.
What was that, by the way?
With Self-Sort Arts.
Oh.
Yeah, it happened in January, but the cliff of non-subscriber growth happened 2 days before, and then even the additional boost I got from, because drama brings in attention, right? Didn't change anything at all.
Yeah, so it was obvious. It was
obviously wasn't, related. And
nothing happens in a vacuum.
So many other creators have pointed out my views have cratered in January. And when I say multiple, I can link a video of another creator talking about it. Baggage Claim has talked about it. Clanfish TV has also reported on heaps. I'm talking about hundreds, thousands of websites saying their organic traffic from Google has cratered. They changed something in January. And I think, this is just suspicion, I wonder if they're actually integrating AI contextual understanding of content to affect recommendations and search and discoverability.
I reckon.
Down to understanding thumbnails.
Yeah.
Before, the algorithm could not understand a thumbnail except that, hey, people are clicking on this due to a big thumbnail. One of the huge advancements of AI technology is a computer can now look at a picture and pick out, that's a person, that's a scantily clad person, wrong, that's a gun, bad gun, right?
That's a sword.
That's
banned in London.
That's an orange man, bad, right? No. Now AI can actually not only identify objects but even identify people. That level of specificity, and Google literally has a trained AI capable of doing that, which they can I almost guarantee, if they haven't, they already have integrated this AI learning into contextualizing not only thumbnails, but YouTubers already had auto-generated subtitles, right? That also means a computer can then hear every single word in a video, instantly understand context now, what is being talked about in the video, and if anything is said that it doesn't like.
But AI is really good at just understanding concepts in general. Like I had this feeling, like there's a YouTuber, Luke09, who makes Warhammer content, right? He explains the lore, and I have a problem with him because everything he says seems to be nonsense. And so I asked ChatGPT, hey dude, here's what I'm thinking about this stuff that he's saying. I copied the subtitles when I generated. Here's what I'm thinking about what he's saying. Is my opinion correct? And the AI was like, yeah, here's some examples. Yeah. And so
it can understand context, and a large context, like crazy stuff. I wanted to see how good the context was. And so there is an AI large language model, and I forget the name of it, but it's the one that can input more characters than anyone else. I forget the name. But anyway, so I decided to input the novel I wrote, right? The one I'm currently on, not my previous novel. Just wanted to put it in to see if it could understand the context, right? And also to test how good it was, because I knew what I wanted to write next. I wanted to see what it would choose to write after, and I wasn't very good, by the way. But I also said, what is this about, right? And the understanding of the plot gave me I input I think it was 70 to 100,000 words, right?
Wow.
Yeah, right? And it analyzed the entire thing in a couple of friggin' seconds to minutes.
Did you do this on your local computer?
On my local computer, right?
Right.
No, this wasn't locally. This was their server. Yeah.
Dang it. You got to find this. I want to know about this, please.
Right?
Yeah.
It understood the entire context and gave me a summary, and then said, based on what's happened so far, these are the options of what you could do with the story later on. And again, I'm choosing where I'm going with the story. I like to write, manually. I wanted to see just how good the technology was to see what people will be doing, because there are already people trying to use this for storytelling, right? And so I wanted to see how capable it was for people who want to use it. And even though I'm trying to bookend this, right? Because I love AI, people have been trying to discredit my work for being AI written when it was manually written. And even though I wouldn't begrudge anyone for writing with AI, I love writing manually, right? And so I'm still going to do that. But I wanted to see where the technology was. And so I checked this out. And yeah, it's actually crazy, its ability to understand context. Even hundreds of thousands, like it could take nearly 100,000 words, right? And understand the context and say, this is the plot. This is what this character's doing. This is what this character's doing. It's like, holy crap.
But then me and you would have disagreements about how close to sentience or true understanding that is. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I actually think Google is absolutely integrating AI into affecting search results and stuff like that. And that is a concern going in the future, because it's having a detrimental effect on many aspects. And maybe it's worth doing a video of me discussing other things of why, because I think it's not just that. I think it's a culmination of things that's affecting Shadiversity specifically. I don't necessarily think it's being individually targeted. I wouldn't put it past them, right? But I actually think it's the effect of many broader changes that's impacting many creators. I'm not the only one that noticed. January, things friggin' changed, and it is destroying certain YouTube channels. Huge outswell of support, from the fans, that is helping us keep things going. And so, I don't want people to get too worried. Things still might have to change, but I'll still be here. I'll be making content. So it's an odd time in the world with AI and bots. Legacy media is dying. Doesn't mean disinformation is, though, unfortunately. And Elon is saying that there is heaps of information that's available from people providing real-time stuff, and is kind of implying a lot of it is available on Twitter. And I actually have to agree with him. Like, Twitter is still a hellscape, right? With it encouraging still the lowest form of human interaction. The whole sniping thing is just like ingrained in what Twitter is. And so I still have a love-hate relationship with it. But I still give massive props that it's the most free speech platform we have at the moment. It's not perfect, but it is the most free speech platform we have. And it is the best source for unfiltered breaking information and news. When I say unfiltered, it still has people's biases, but those biases are not filtered, and you get to see all sides. And community notes is a friggin' godsend. Community notes.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what?
I don't know what that is.
You're not on Twitter very much.
No.
That would explain why.
Shad, I go insane enough just having YouTube. Okay.
If someone said, like, community notes is an ability, so people have to sign up and be approved to be able to make a community note, and it's corrections to tweets to correct usually disinformation or misinformation. And then once someone submits one, it needs to get enough approval to be shown under the tweet. But they have been like, basically every single one except one or two cases have been bang on the money. And when they're wrong, it can get reported and taken down. Okay. And so they have been. Community notes have called out so many instances of bullcrap and attempted misinformation, even from like mainstream media. It's been glorious. It's actually really good. So, what do you think the future will be for mainstream media?
Honestly, don't know. But I believe that the Star Trek future comes about through the decentralization of all forms of production and power. So it's not about creating a communist future where everyone has equal access to resources. It's about where everyone has the equal ability to create the things they want to create. And you get that through capitalism and, like, look at 3D printers, look at AI, look at homesteading.
That gives accessibility to create through technology.
Yes.
So instead of taking resources from other people forcefully, usually threat of violence, pointing a gun, with the false notion that will enable everyone to produce equally, when if you take things away from productive people and give it to unproductive people, the unproductive people make it spit. But if you make productive people have greater opportunity and access to resources to make more, that can bring about a possible actual utopia.
And through innovation.
Capitalism, baby. I would like to see a lot of them die, but that's mainly because of how untrustworthy they are.
Yeah.
I think there are some aspects to traditional media that is important, like getting information in from places that in war. But the thing is, though, so much of the information that say comes out of Ukraine, you can't trust anything. The propaganda on both sides and the active disinformation, you just can't believe a thing.
That's why I choose not to.
I mean, that's at a point where, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the value of that even anymore. Once upon a time, a reporter going into really serious places to give true information was a value.
Mm.
And it was the mainstream that would often send those reporters to report on those things.
At the end of the day, what I believe is consistent patterns that I keep seeing, and I disbelieve the inconsistent patterns that I don't see.
You can get a lot of information from Twitter, which is not a good thing. But anyway, it's better than the alternatives. The alternatives are failing, and they can just keep failing, because I have not watched like a mainstream media source in ages. And in actual fact, even when I see breaking news articles on YouTube, where YouTube is trying to force me to watch the authoritative sources, if it's a news item I actually do want to learn about, I will actively search it and find independent sources to avoid. And I'm mainly the Australian news sources, like ABC, Channel 7, Channel 10, 9. I don't trust any of them, and I will only go to either a source that somewhat I find more trustworthy. Oddly enough, Sky News Australia is one of the ones that's somewhat trustworthy sometimes, but mostly just independent. Give me an independent, unbiased take. What do you guys do? Let us know in the comments. And as always, stay on watch.